enough you're going to experience these types of games, but you got to be proud the way your team fought, especially late in the ball game, down those 2 scores.
Yeah, that's the mark of this team this year is, there's never any give up. They don't lay down. They fight harder as the game goes. And we told them going into the fourth that we were not out of it at all, and felt like that we were doing some things right. We moving the ball, we just didn't finish. We had interceptions or fumbles or what have you, but we were moving the ball up and down the field. And we felt like if some things went our way and we made some stops on defense that we could get right back in it. That's what we told them in the fourth. And the kids credit, they buy into that, and you just can't count this bunch out. They'll keep fighting the whole way. So you're for a fight for 4 quarters.
Absolutely. C.J. Stryker, again, had a hand in all 3 of the Dragon touchdowns on Friday night. He will join us in the second segment here. But, Coach, I want to go back. Obviously, Heritage, you guys over the years have had a pretty good series with those guys. They're a team that, for whatever reason, every time you guys play, no matter how good, either team is, man, it always seems to be that game that just kind of comes down to the end. Don't know if they play a similar style or what have you, but it's one of those that typically just kind of goes back and forth, and we saw that again this week.
Yeah, just in the short time I've been here, it's been a game that you don't take for granted, and you're going to be in a war for 4 quarters, and this past week was no exception. They're a well-coached football team, have similar players to what we have, and they get after it and are very sound in their schemes, and so you're gonna be in 4 quarters of football with them. It's never an easy game, hardly.
Absolutely. 21-20, the final there. Again, the Dragons just short on Friday night, but as we're going to talk about in the next segment, it's kind of created a logjam again atop the region standings, really anyone's region right now, because there are 4 teams that have 1 region loss. Of course, the Dragons are one of them, so still very much up in the air, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. RJ, what was your perspective Friday night? I know you always cover the Dragons. What did you see down there?
A lot like what Coach said. They fought till the end in that fourth quarter. They were down a couple of scores going into that fourth quarter. They're like, we're not going to quit, and they busted it. They made plays on both offense and defense to get back into that game. It's just an unfortunate way to have that end, but they were in it all the way, and hopefully on Friday they can get back into the win column.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of fight out of the Dragons. Northwest Whitfield comes to town. Again, that one coming up in our second segment. I do want to welcome Coach Seth Deering, the linebackers coach, with us right here on the program this week. First appearance. I know you guys are rotating out a little bit, so guess what? It's your week, man. Congratulations.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, but first year here, obviously, at Pickens. I thought I recognized you from Cherokee County, moving up the road a little bit from a Creekview program that's had a lot of success. How's that transition been? Obviously, you've known Coach Nelson for quite a while. Talk about your guys and your position group and how your guys have played this year for you.
Okay, yeah, so having the linebackers here has been a blast. These guys work really hard. I know coming in, it's all new guys coming in this year. They lost the 3 linebackers from last year, but these guys, they're tough. Right now we're a little banged up, but there's no complaining. They want to come out, they want to play, and it's been exciting. It's been fun.
Absolutely.
Definitely a change of pace.
You go. You got guys that fly around, and that's the one thing I think that I see is, you love when those linebackers can go sideline to sideline to make plays and use their athleticism. Talk a little bit about your group and who you've got over there, who you've been working with specifically.
Yeah, so at our staff, we have TC. TC, he's probably one of the leaders right now. He goes out there, he makes plays game after game. A little banged up, but he just keeps on going. He's not slowing down. Our Mike backer, all right, we're playing 2 guys right now, Hunter Weaver and Dylan Arp. They're both playing Mike, and they're doing a good job. It's been a little bit hard for them because it's their first time being at Mike.
Right.
So they're having a hard time getting those reads down, but every week they're getting better.
And he made several tackles on defense. He had a pass breakup, and he's senior, and he's one of those leaders that they need for a younger team. And he always cheers up his teammates on the sidelines when he's not in. He always coaches them up when he's not in, helps them out, and he does a great job.
Yeah, and I like something that you wrote that I like is he's kind of a disruptor on defense. He's a guy that just makes a lot of disrupting plays, if you will, for opposing offenses. He's definitely a guy that can fly around, of course, as Coach Deering said. I want to bring in our players here at the end of the table, man. And, man, I like the contrast in the color, man. We got some bright colors going on down there. Again, Andrew and Grayson with us here in the first segment. And, Andrew, again, welcome back. Talk a little bit about your play this year, the play of this team. I know, obviously, you fell a little bit short Friday night, but there's still plenty of football left to be played. How's the attitude of the team, going into this week's game against Northwest Whitfield?
Everyone's focused, want to get better. They never give up, and everyone just wants to have the best. And everyone has each other's backs, and just want to do the best for the whole team.
Yeah. Seems like this team's really come together. Y'all got some good upper class leadership. What do you feel like your role is specifically on this team? Like, what is it that you feel like you bring individually to this team every day when you show up?
I just try to make practices fun. Make sure everyone works hard and everyone competes.
Yeah, got to have that accountability, right? Got to make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Grayson, obviously, you're part of this program, man. Talk about being out there, what it's like on Friday night, the atmosphere. I mean, what are some things that you think about week in and week out being part of this team?
I really get a strong feel of family, and the fact that when we're down, like we did Friday, we can come back. And even though we fell short, the drive was there, and it would have definitely been a game had we been there the entire game.
Right, absolutely. It's about putting together 4 complete quarters, right, and being there. We were joking around before we came on the air, and I was, trying to prep these guys as to what I was going to ask them, and I was saying, what's it like, when the cheerleaders are yelling your name and all this sort of stuff, just joking around, right? And RJ said, no, that actually happens. Like, the student section is saying, we want Grayson, and so how does it feel, man, when you hear your name being tossed around like that on Friday night, coming from the stands or, from your fellow classmates or whatever, man? It's got to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, it feels really good. I like the fact that I don't always go unnoticed, even though I don't really play much. It really puts a little pep in my step, especially when we're down and I hear that. It's a great motivator.
Yeah, and you mentioned the word family. I mean, I think that's what it's all about, man. The Dragon family is strong, and it's awesome that you guys are part of the program the way you are and everything. Coach, obviously, we don't like to single out a lot of players because it is a team game, and we try to stay away from that, but especially with these guys here at the table right now, I mean, what have they meant to the program, and especially a guy like Grayson who kind of does a little bit of everything for you guys?
Yeah, I think like Grayson said, it's all part of just being a family. We we love all these guys coming in, and we got guys that play a lot and those that don't play as much, but every kid contributes, and Grayson certainly does that in many capacities. We've been thrilled to have him on the team, and excited for he's actually helping us with some postseason stuff him and I talked about. So he's always been there. He comes and helps the younger kids. He runs the scoreboard for the junior high and stuff like that. So he's a big part of what we do.
Absolutely. I know we've had some middle school championships and some other things that have happened in the stadium here over the last week or so. And so it's always exciting to kind of see Dragon football as a brand, and it's not just the high school team. It's all the way from the youth all the way up, K through 12. And that's an awesome thing to see. Again, looking forward to next week, obviously Northwest Whitfield. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Who stood out? Anyone else since we're kind of on the individual part of it? Any players that maybe we haven't talked a lot about this year on the show that may have stepped up Friday night and had a big game?
Well, having Andrew here tonight is a young man who's kind of bounced around from several positions for us, both offensively and defensively, and he's found a home at the corner position, and his aggressiveness coming downhill and making plays on the quick screens, and actually jumping back into coverage and running with some of these guys. He's just gotten better and better each week. So he kind of stood out at that corner position. So it was one of the guys that we were real pleased with in the effort Friday night.
Yeah, Andrew, playing DB, especially playing corner. I mean, you're kind of on an island by yourself a lot of times. It's like if a defensive tackle misses play at the line of scrimmage, got the backers there maybe to pick them up a little bit. It's not as noticeable, but as a DB, you mess up, you get burned. Everybody in the stadium knows it, right? So you're kind of on that island. Talk about that position and the challenges that come with being a corner. Because you got run support too. I mean, you got a kind of a dual responsibility there, right?
Yes, it's tough, but you just gotta work hard and like never give up on a play because everyone sees you. And if you just give up, then the whole team sees that and just brings everyone down. But if you get like a last second tackle, then it's like anything can happen from there.
Right, yeah. Or there's pick six or something like that, man. Get turn the whole game around at that point there. So are you like the lockdown corner, man? I mean, is that your thing? They put you on the other team's best receiver, right? Isn't that how that works?
Yeah, I hope.
There you go. Good stuff. Obviously, the Dragons again getting ready for another big game, a big test this week against Northwest Whitfield. And on the other side of the break, we're going to talk a little bit more about that ball game. But we do want to thank our players, Andrew Burrell and Grayson Bradford, for being right here with us in this first segment. Coaches are going to stay with us in the second segment. We'll welcome two more players. We appreciate you guys being with us right here. Do want to thank all of our sponsors, and we encourage you to follow Team FYN Sports on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll be back with more of this week's Pickens Power Half Hour Dragon Talk right here on Team FYN Sports. Stay with us.